Cruz from Mexico went in there against a guy who may be pound for pound the best on the scene today, Gervonta Davis, the current lightweight champion of the world, unified lightweight champion. And they went at it for 12 rounds, and it was competitive all the way throughout. They were both throwing bombs right there in the final seconds of round number 12. And that could be where this next segment goes.
Yeah, I heard all about this. I heard
well, it's going to get ugly here. We want to introduce to you Tony Segreto, of course, iconic broadcaster in the South Florida area, both in the sports and news genres, and known nationally for his work on the Sports Machine, the I want to say Gene Michael for some reason, but it was George Michael. Right?
It wasn't Stick Michael, no.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought it was Stick.
Nor was it Wham. So.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it could have been that guy too. That's why I stumbled for a second, thinking, no, that was a guy. The guy was a singer. What are you talking about? But anyway, Tony Segreto, well known all around the world, and Tony's presence here every week, brought to you by Catholic Health Services, an outstanding organization, any kind of healthcare and rehabilitation, and of course, Texas Roadhouse Restaurants, one of our favorite places, which is going to be very much in the picture when it comes to all kinds of holiday parties, especially this boat parade thing. I'm trying to get the Mustang to come through with some stuff from Texas Roadhouse for that. But and the only guy that could use quintessential in a commercial endorsement and actually knows what it means, at least among the people on this show. Tony Segreto with us here. Tony, I'm just going to sick Lubie on you. It's kind of like
he already jumped all over me on a text message.
I texted him,
but he's been embarrassing you in the early hour of this program.
No one pays attention to him, so it's fine. It doesn't matter.
People are paying attention. That's the unfortunate thing.
That's the sad thing.
He listen.
You knew nothing. I mean,
what did I say? What did you know, and when did you know it?
What did you know?
What did you know?
When did you know it?
What did you know? We got inkling of it. What's today? Today's Wednesday. We got inkling of it over the weekend. I was in Cincinnati for the AAC
flying around on the Orange Bowl ticket.
That's what it was. They sent him away. And
so let me couldn't. Listen, I'm not avoiding this. I just want to tell you something. This is the honest truth. I went to Cincinnati. I mean, I'm really pulling back the curtain here. I went to Cincinnati a little jaded, trying to figure out, okay, how good can they really be? And what's this program really about? Is it kind of UCF-like? And where, the people are jumping on the bandwagon. Well, I left there thinking exactly the opposite, spending a little time with the administration, the fans. I mean, these fans have been fans for over 30 years in many cases. The love of the program, the way they run the program, Lou Fickle, the real deal. I mean, the real deal. I'm happy they're in it. The scene was remarkable for those of you. I don't know if you guys watched the game or watched the end of the game. It was remarkable. It really, really was. And to see the fans react. And I'm sure they're upset that they have to go to Dallas because Dallas in January, or late December. I don't know, Defo. Have you been to Cotton Bowls before? I know I have.
I've never been to the Cotton Bowl, but we were in Dallas when they had a snowstorm for the Super Bowl. When they had the Super Bowl there at the Cowboys Stadium, and it was no fun. Except we did manage to find our way without snow tires or any kind of ability to get traction on the roads to Lone Star Park, the local racetrack where I spent both of my afternoons that I was in Dallas.
But anyway, we got inkling of it over the weekend, and that things were in the works, and shame on me for not calling you. It was one of those things where I said, "Are they going to want to hear from me?"
Special man, Jack Nehmer. Jack, he would have immediately called all the people from Ion Channel and said, "We have." Breaking news.
Yeah, we would have broke it.
Would have broken it on Saturday morning. Yes.
Yeah. All I can tell you is I think that what we have found is that schools are really becoming bold. What Miami has done now is literally unprecedented in terms of the dollars spent and going out. Change is never easy. Manny Diaz was a great guy, and wonderful man. Worked his tail off. Players loved him. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. And all in now on Mario, all in. I mean, especially with what they're spending and what they're doing. And I love the fact that they're kind of bringing old and new together. I think he's going to bring some old school, real old school, the toughness that Miami had back in the 80s. I mean, all of these things that I'm sure we've heard from and heard about. But I'm excited for Miami. I'm excited for Miami's, for all of us as fans and alum. And I think it's going to be fabulous. I really do. And Lubie, forgive me for I have sinned. And you could, hold me to it. But yeah, it's one of those things where, part of me was like held to, deep confidence. And I still adhere to that.
Okay, let me ask you, because that's actually the thing to me, where I was one of those people. I never felt bad for Manny. He got paid to do a job. It's his job to do it to the end, whatever's out there. And he got a nice buyout. So I never felt bad for Manny, but I was one of the people that said I felt sort of like it was mishandled, in the sense that supposedly Lincoln Riley was in talks with USC for months now, we found out, and no one knew a thing. So I give you credit for being ethical and not spilling the beans, but someone was. Like, I don't understand how it got out. Like, it was out before we talked to you last week. Like, it was murmuring for a while.
Listen, there's always somebody who's, has the tongue that wags. There's always somebody in the inner circle somewhere along the line. There's always that mold. There's always that, go back to Watergate. There's always that deep throat, who's going to give the information. And I think that we misinterpret in many cases. I don't know if there is. You have to remember the reporting on what we hear. Again, I think some of the people that we read are pretty spot on, and some we don't know that well. And there's always another side to the story. I'm not sure there's ever a good way. How Brian Kelly handled it was absolutely horrendous. They're going to come out on the other side looking a lot better and being a lot happier now that this thing is done. Yeah. The way Lincoln handled it, I thought Miami handled it about, unfortunately, it was out there long enough where it was tough for not just Manny, but for Manny's family. Yeah. And that's just part of it. Regrettably, that's part of it.
Brian Kelly all of a sudden picked up a Cajun accent, too.
The accent is great.
How
that's
ridiculous is that?
That's the best.
All of a sudden his last name is Thibodeau.
Yeah. Ridiculous is that, But listen, I give Miami's administration, the people who led this search, I give them a whole lot of credit. They said, we're either all in or we're not.
You did.
And they are all, they jumped in that pool without even testing the water. Yeah. They're like in, and they're in this deep, and I think we're in for quite a ride. I really do. I think that Mario's happy to be home. I know he's happy to be home. Yeah. I think he's going to, be able to bring the old and the new together with tradition, yet, currency. And I'm excited to see what happens. I really am.
All right, here's a bigger question.
Ask the question, please, Defo.
No, this is, something that remains a giant mystery. And it's not like many people aren't asking the same question. All right, so either Nevin Shapiro got sprung from jail, or maybe Luther Campbell got some royalties that were lost, and he got screwed by the record company on Me So Horny. Where is this money coming from, and who is making the call? They don't have anybody in a position that would normally. The president of the university didn't come out there and go, well, you know what? We're going to get that Cristobal cat. But who's making the call? Donna Shalala? Where did the money come from, and who is making the call? Tony Segreto.
All I can tell you is that we have very successful and very philanthropic donors, and there are ways to find the money.
Was it you?
There just are.
Is it your money, Tony?
It was my money, all my money. It's all my money.
Segreto's pulling the strings. I
pulled the $17 million to buy Manny out, to buy Mario out, and then I gave the other $80 million for the contract.
Beautiful. Are you behind the stadium also? The one they're going to mow down the high school?
Coral Gables High School, yeah.
That's awesome, Tony.
I'm funding that. And I'm actually the silent partner for Jack Namer. I'm funding this show.
That makes sense.
Somebody has to eventually. No, that's going to be our many fine sponsors. Of course, we're very grateful for.
When you need to find the money, you find the money.
Where's it been the last 40 years, though?
That's a weird answer for University of Miami. For years, they've been saying the same thing.
Well,
now, all of a sudden, there's nobody in the athletic department.
I think there was.
And they got the dough. It's a little strange.
I think that, sometimes you need that epiphany. sometimes you need that jar. It's sort of like that time when you just, you sort of make the sign of the cross and thank God because you hit the brake quick enough where you didn't, someone didn't run a stop sign, and you go, I got to start being more careful. And all of a sudden you become more diligent in how you drive. All of a sudden, I think Miami sort of like went, we cannot stand still. We've got teams passing us up when they see a Wake Forest going 10-1, and winding up in a New Year's Six bowl. And when we see other schools with facilities and we're losing players, I think they woke up and said, we're either in or we're out. We're either going to be doing this right or we're not going to do it at all. And I give them credit. I applaud them. They may have come to the party a little late, but now they're at the party. And they got the music and they're bringing some food and we're ready to rock and roll. Let's see what happens.
Man, a lot of metaphorical cliches there, Tony Segreto.
That
was brilliant.
He's going for it.
I've been hanging with you.
They got the bacon, they got the whole pie, they got the big enchilada and the potato.
Something's going on there. Someone's like, Tony, you better not say a damn word.
Gourmet on the show here. You're a wild man today, Tony Segreto. I like the way you dodged Lubie's question.
I didn't dodge it. I told you the truth.
All these people are leaking info. They're looking at Tony like, it better not be you, Tony. I don't give a damn what Joe's doing. It better not be you.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy, and if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
The great Tony Segreto going old school with us. Brought to you by Texas Roadhouse Restaurants and also Catholic Health Services. And Tony, I've been flying around a lot, Tony. Now, where do you go? I was thinking, do you have to drive to Boston to catch these flights to Cincinnati from your digs in the deep woods there in Vermont?
Actually, when I went to Cincinnati, I left from a little commuter airport about 20 minutes from my house. Tomorrow, I go to Houston and have to drive to Albany, New York to catch the air.
What are you doing in Houston?
Airport.
They're finished.
I'm going to be with the great Joey Kornblit.
Oh, nice.
Get out of here.
Okay.
That's
Joey
awesome.
Man.
He was recognized. I think he was at this ceremony because they had the final performance of Highlight at Dania Highlight, where, of course, Joey dominated, and the Blue Hairs loved him there. Come on, Joey. I used to love that, man. I mean, like a bunch of 70-year-old ladies were sitting in the front row there, and they all loved Joey because he was Jewish.
Hey, Jew.
Yeah, I mean, Jewish highlight player, very unusual to dominate a sport that is otherwise completely owned by people from the Basque region of Spain and to a lesser extent, I guess, from other countries, including America. But final performance, you know what, Tony? I know you attended a bunch of those sessions there back in the day when Miami Highlight was the Yankee Stadium of Highlight. That place was rocking. I mean, you talk about old school.
It wasn't just that place. You could go on a Friday night. You could go to Miami Highlight, and as you said, in your words, it was absolutely rocking. You could place a couple of bets there, leave there, go to Biscayne Kennel Club. Place was packed.
They're hanging from their rafters.
Same thing. Yeah. Flagler Kennel Club, same thing. Dania Highlight. It's just step and repeat. And then the next day, get up and go to Hialeah Racetrack for the ponies. And that too was.
It was a wonderful life. I was living the dream. I was so happy I came here, Tony.
You guys, we joke about how when the Dolphin schedule came out.
Yeah.
Well, it was the same way when the Board of Business Regulation would come out with the dates.
Winter dates in racing, yes,
with
very
the winter
competitive.
dates in racing. Who got those
ugly.
Coveted middle dates when everybody was down here and the good horses were down here and. Was it going to be Hialeah? Was it going to be Gulfstream? Then Calder enters the picture because they're doing summer racing and they feel they should get the middle days. I mean, it was quite something at the time.
Very competitive. Yeah. The Highlight though, I really enjoyed it. I tell you what, I like anything unusual that you can bet on where there's a live crowd and there's an atmosphere. And the game was a little bit difficult in terms of you couldn't comprehend how hard it was to actually just have the technique of playing highlight. I mean, I guess if you had it, we're born into the sport like we were in a baseball or whatever, or football. Okay, so as a young kid, you knew a lot of technique, but This game, I mean, you talk about an egg ball. I don't know. Did you ever get out there on one of those
Oh
media
yeah,
tournaments?
oh yeah. I made a fool of myself too, and I'm pretty good. You and I are pretty good athletes. I mean,
Yeah, it was a hard game to
it
have
was
any
tough.
clue how to play. It really was.
You're right, because everything you knew, and you knew as a ball player, you could not apply to this because the arm motion was completely different. The reaction was completely different. How you caught it was completely different. So all of those things combined. I mean, between that harness racing and doing the automobile racing, the demolition derby. I mean,
the different stuff you had to try.
Yeah,
Daredevil Sportscaster.
We were very fortunate to be able to do all those things because
and to survive.
You're very fortunate.
I always worried about this was my big fear because I had put on a little weight, and I didn't want to pull a hamstring getting in and out of the NASCAR automobile because the doors don't open on those cars, and you have to climb in and out through the window while wearing this NASA suit, almost like as thick as a hazmat suit that you're not accustomed to, with the shoes and everything, the fire shoes, and then you're trying to climb in through the window. A fat guy, it doesn't work. I don't know how Cale Yarborough ever won a race because I don't know how he got into the car. AJ Foyt, same thing. How did he ever get in and out of the car?
I think they opened it special for him.
What they have, like design? They're the only guys that had the doors
Jaws of
open.
life.
So do you not sleep?
Did you ever pull a hamstring? Did you ever pull a hamstring doing that, Tony?
No, you know what? I never did.
Or get hurt doing some kind of media?
No,
Lubie nearly got killed when he decided to
times.
tangle with a guy named Monson.
Yep.
Who was a monster. I mean, Monson was appropriate because, it's very much similar to just Monster, which what this guy was. And he was an MMA fighter that was kind of borderline UFC. And so
what was that? Whoa! Is there a dogfight going on? What's going
Mark
on?
Lawrence.
there's an issue here at the house.
Mark Lawrence entered the room.
I've got a dog stuck in my bedroom here, and like cleaning people just came. So she's going crazy and wants to be let out. And if I let her out, then it causes a whole commotion here. So the show suffers as a result.
It does.
Can I tell you something? All kidding aside.
I mean, we're real here. This is
exactly.
real life.
This is what
happening
makes
on the
these shows so great because it is
Yeah.
real. It's all real. You're really
real.
taking the curtain and opening it wide open. For
My
people
wife's
to-
scheduled cleaning people to come while we're on the air with the show, and of course they have to enter right through the door that's right by the room I'm broadcasting from.
Of
Of
course.
course.
Of course.
Work? Oh, you have a job?
So
Nice.
listen. Before we went to commercial break, where are you thinking of laying your money for these for the Final Four? What's the Georgia-Michigan spread?
I think that was like 6.5 or 7 in
geez.
favor of Georgia in that ball game. So
Wow.
I would be tempted. I don't know. I would be tempted, and this is going to sound
I
stupid,
would take
a shot with Ed Garcia's Michigan Wolverines.
I
getting
would
points.
too. I don't think there's any question. I think Georgia was exposed. I think that it was interesting. Saturday morning, we're at breakfast, and these people, people were coming up to us and talking to us. They knew we were representing Orange Bowl, and this one guy said, I have looked at this Alabama-Georgia game, and I know everybody's going to think I'm crazy.
7 and a hook.
but-
It's up to 7 and hook. I was just going to say, anyone interrupt?
Wow.
It's up to 7 and hook.
I love Michigan. I love Michigan.
Oh,
I really do.
They do what
Anyway,
I'd
he
be willing to take half a point more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
And say that Michigan's going to at least be in this game.
Yep. And I wonder. Here's my wonder of Cincinnati. You've been wondering out loud. I know I have about. Can they handle the moment? Can they handle the stage? What are they going to be like?
See, we never thought of that. We just thought, could they handle the points?
Well, here's the thing. They are a senior dominated team. And I would almost take them with the 13.5. I'm telling you.
Do you think, though, that you fell in love with them because you went there and you met the people and you got in the spirit of the program and they were
I watched them
I mean,
play.
we want them to beat Alabama
No,
outright.
No. I totally understand what you're saying, and I have backed away from that. This isn't about the people or the anything like that. I watched them for 4 quarters, and this team doesn't stop. I mean, their motor is high. They don't stop. Now, I will tell you this: they do not match up size-wise at all.
Who does with Alabama?
Yeah, exactly.
Georgia
Packers
did
don't match up size-wise with Alabama. Yeah.
And so my question is, human nature here, right? I don't care. People could tell you all they want. Tell these young kids in Alabama, hey, you better pay attention. This is a good team. This is a good team.
Demanding.
And everybody's telling them, you're playing Cincinnati, really? Honestly?
Yep.
So could they take them lightly? Cincinnati has absolutely zero to lose. They throw caution to the wind.
There it is. One of my favorite cliches.
Do they, if they fall behind early, how do they react? I don't know. But you know what? I would almost
14.
I think we do well with Michigan. I'm not so sure we do well with Cincinnati, but why not? Why not?
I don't know why I feel like we're going to give out two losers here. But here's
I don't think
we discovered this to be true. We discovered this to be true, Tony, and that is don't bet against the devil.
Yeah.
And in this case, the devil is Satan himself, Nick Saban.
Yep.
And we saw this. I mean, there was no reason to like Alabama in that game against Georgia. Georgia was giving up 6 points a game. The highest total they had yielded was 17. They gave up 42 against an Alabama team that could not score for 58 and a half minutes against Auburn, a team that went 6-6 on the season and certainly didn't measure up to the level of what we've seen in terms of devastating defensive play that Georgia had. And you thought Georgia could put some points up on Alabama also because their offense had kind of come around a little bit or enough so to convince you that they would run away and hide in this ballgame. And what happens? They get shellacked.
Well, they were able to, all these games up until Alabama, they were able to hide the secondary that's a little suspect, right? Yes. Because they have.
And when did they start counting Mississippi's? When did that start? Only at the Alabama game. When did they start counting Mississippi's on defense?
Oh, my God.
Because Bryce Young won the Heisman Trophy that day. You're betting against the devil. Right. They had the number one seed and the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback again.
They were able to figure out how to keep him clean.
Yeah, which no one's been able to do.
Who? Saban? I don't think he is clean.
No. They were
Bryce Young clean.
They were able to keep the quarterback clean and keep this defensive line from like attacking him. And think about it, the week before, Auburn's defensive line beat them up.
They were getting annihilated in that game.
Auburn's
it was a mismatch. It appeared really.
So it's really it's hard to give Saban credit, but boy, how can you not?
You have to.
No, never bet against Saban. Don't bet against the devil, Tony. People have done it. We talked about this on the show. Jimmy Swaggart tried it. He tried betting against the devil. Where is he? Incarcerated. Jim Baker, Tammy Faye, they bet against the devil. And guess what? They got theirs. And you know what? They're coming for you, Osteen.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. 8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?